Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining Rebecca and I. My name is Soila. I'm the founder of the Divorce Magazine, and my background is in child psychotherapy. I work mainly with children who have experienced trauma in their lives, whether it's loss and bereavement, divorce, or some changes in their lives that have caused them to be a little bit shaken out of their daily being themselves. And today we have Rebecca. A lady whom I, hi Rebecca, a lady whom I met through Twitter, really, going through my Twitter feeds, and I saw your name, and I thought, let me look at her, checked you out, and the first thing I saw was happiness specialist, and I thought, I need this woman on my website to be able to speak to us as people who have been through divorce and let us know that we can be happy again.
Yeah.
So here's Rebecca, and I'll let Rebecca tell us what it is that she does.
Oh, well, thank you. Let me just say that I'm so honored and grateful to be on your show, and I
Oh,
want to say hello to your audience all the way from California, USA.
that's right.
And another thing is, we go through these journeys, even though we're different. I say we're as different as our fingerprints.
Yes.
Our journeys, our journeys have a lot of similarities. I
Mhm.
too was divorced.
Okay.
I don't know if I shared that with you. I was divorced, and let's see, after 9 years of marriage. And I definitely remember. I remember feeling like, of course, this was back in 1980, oof, the mid 80s, feeling like no, not the mid 80s, the beginning of the 90s,
Hmm.
feeling like I was a failure, feeling like I didn't. I failed. I didn't. I just felt really bad. I felt
Yeah.
like I felt like I had a stigma.
Yeah.
I'm divorced now. Oh my
Yeah.
God, what does that mean even?
Yeah. Did you feel
And
shame, Rebecca?
hmm,
Did you feel shame?
feel ashamed.
Yeah, I
I
did
felt
feel that.
embarrassed.
Yeah,
I felt like a loser.
that's right.
Yeah, I just
Absolutely.
all of those things.
Mm.
And I was the one that instigated the divorce. I mean, I was the one that actually went and filed the papers. But it was a definite, because there's so many thoughts in my head of being, even a marriage, a successful marriage, and now my marriage was
It's
not
gone. That's
successful.
right.
All of these thoughts, and that's another thing I want to talk, because I am a happiness specialist. um, our thoughts, especially the thoughts that are critical of ourselves,
Hmm.
are real illusions. Just because we think it doesn't mean that it's true. Just because we have these thoughts doesn't mean that these thoughts are real, they're really accurate descriptions of us. They're not at
Yeah.
all. I've discovered that this talk in my head, and this negative, and this criticism, what I should have done and why didn't I, and all of that crap, really, I actually divide myself. I say there's two entities in my head. There's the universal voice,
Yes.
and there's the man-made, or the ego, or whatever you want to call it. There's that voice.
Okay.
And I know that when I listen to those voices, those critical voices, the complaining something's wrong voices, or staying in a loop and focusing on something that is negative or in the past, uh, all I can do is snap myself out of it. In other
Okay.
words, think of something different. In other words, the thoughts that are in my head that do not uplift me or
Yes.
inspire me or
Yeah.
motivate me, I just think of them as entities just to be observed, and not to influence my
Yes,
behavior
I
or my
see. I
words.
see what you're saying. It's like somebody said, if you uh, two things. Let me see if I'm following you here. You get a negative thought in your mind, right? You're stuck in the past and you're upset by your ex-husband or ex-partner or whoever. You're upset by them, and it becomes like a loop. And if you're able to then accept that you have that thought, for one, and then look at it as you would a passing cloud, then
Yes.
it just goes.
Yes. Exactly. A passing cloud, and clouds don't have any substance, do
No,
they?
no, not at
Yes.
all.
What I do, this is my thing. I pretend that all of my thoughts, my ego and all that, are on stage,
Okay.
and I'm in the audience. And I'm witnessing, okay, there's a negative thought, or there's a thought about drama, or there's a thought that's not going to bring me peace. Oh, isn't that interesting? So I let the thoughts, in other words, I don't resist the thoughts. I'm not trying to stop them, but I sit back and I witness, wow, that sure is entertaining. It's like watching bad TV,
Yeah.
right?
I
And you
like
and you
that.
know that it's not real, and you don't take it
It's not
seriously.
yours. It's
Exactly,
just, it's out,
exactly.
yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, and that's really interesting. And one of the things I really wanted to ask you was, with as being a happiness specialist, right? I would assume that you're happy a lot of the times. Now,
Yes.
how do you manage those moments where there's anger, or either someone cuts in front of you at the traffic lights, or I don't know, somebody does something to you? How do you manage that moment when you want to go like, oh, grr.
What a perfect question, Soila. What a perfect question. I wish I had the answer. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
You got me there for a moment. I
Yeah,
thought,
I
oh,
did. I
what?
did. I
Wait.
did. I don't know how my humor plays out in different countries, but we'll see. This is the answer. What a great question. I have to start at the beginning, because we all are energy. And with that said, we all vibrate at certain frequencies. In
Mm-hmm.
other words, our energy, our frequency, we're vibrating. And you can feel the difference between whether you're feeling happy, peaceful, content, knowing everything's order. And you can also feel when you're getting a little irritated or
Yes.
angry or
Yeah.
annoyed.
Yeah.
And this is what I have to say. We can control our vibration. So in other words, if I'm plugged in, and that's my job, if I'm really plugged into the universe, and I am, in other words, that's my personal temperature gauge. I call it a personal temperature gauge, and I'm vibrating here. I don't care if anybody cuts me off.
All
I
right.
don't care if anybody says anything to me. I don't care what happens. I'm up here.
Yeah.
I'm up here. So you can insult me, get angry. I don't even remember the last time I've been angry. I don't remember. Now, I used to get angry just because the wind blew the wrong direction. But I just got tired of feeling that.
Yeah.
I got tired of feeling a victim to circumstances or what people said.
Mm.
And I started to take control over my personal vibration, my connection with the universe. And when I'm connected, nothing is going to knock me out of that connection.
Okay. And I'm just thinking about when you said you can't remember the last time that you were angry. It's as I've been practicing what it is that you're speaking about, where somebody else's anger, somebody else's negativity is actually theirs. It's not mine, and I won't be dragged into that and keep
That's
that away. Until recently, when something happened to my daughter in school, and and the child who did this to my daughter, it wasn't the first time they had done this to her, but and it's not her that I was angry with, but it was her father who came to me the next day to basically say that it was not his daughter, it was my daughter's fault that his daughter had hit my daughter, basically. And at that point, I did feel this rage rising up inside of me, thinking, oh my gosh, your child punches my child, and then it's my child's fault. And I remember thinking, it's okay, but it didn't work, Rebecca. It didn't work.
You know what I love about you? This is what my whole life is about. This is what my radio show is about. Real life issues,
Yeah.
and just what you just brought up. So many good things to talk about.
Yeah.
Because let me say something about the universe and my experience.
Okay.
Because everything that happens is for my betterment. And I can feel you because I have a son also.
Okay.
And of course, he's a lot older now. He's 29, so I don't get that mama bear protection mode. But believe me, I know what you're talking about. Somebody with my boy.
Oh yeah. I
I
was actually trembling. I was holding my daughter's hand as I was walking her upstairs, and she was like, "Mama, you're shaking." And I was like, I know. She was like, you're shaking. I've never. And I was just like,
Because you were so angry. Well, we'll
oh,
see. Okay, okay. This is what that is. Number one, this skill about staying connected and living connected to the universe takes practice like anything else. Like you'd have to practice to write, you have to practice singing, you have to practice playing an instrument, to be a surgeon. All of this staying connected and living connected takes practice. And one of the things that you are is self-aware. I mean, just the fact that you said, I was good and it didn't work and I felt myself just blowing up, that's number one, to have self-awareness. Number two, believe it or not, that person's actions or what they said has nothing to do with your anger. I have the speech about the blame game, and believe me, I used to say, oh, he said that, and now I'm pissed. Excuse me, now I'm upset.
Okay.
He said that, or she did that, and now I have to react. In reality, it has nothing to do with it. Okay. Because our emotions and our emotions and this contentment is our responsibility. And this is what I say, you go into a dark room and you turn on the light, the darkness disappears because you are that light. You are that light. So if you're shining that bright, nothing is going to affect you.
Yeah.
Nothing. Even the most important are children.
Yeah.
And the universe is using your daughter as a way so you can develop the skill, because you're still going to take care of business. You're still going to make sure your daughter is protected. Yeah. You're still a great mother, but you don't have to do it with that anger. You don't have to do it with that vibration. And this is really important. Now you can teach your daughter how, no matter what anyone says to you, your vibration can't affect me. Yeah. You're still going to take care of this jerk. Yes. And I say that, but you don't have to get angry to do it. Yeah. Because that getting angry is now your vibration is here, and you're going to attract more of that stuff.
Yeah. No, but you're absolutely right when you talk about practicing it. You're absolutely correct, because I know that it's something a lot of people have talked about, especially people who had anger issues, and they have practiced, and now they're able, or
Hell, you had anger issues. Are you kidding? I used to get angry at everyone. And I used to think I was justified for being angry at them. I didn't think that I thought what they did made me angry.
Okay,
until I found out the truth.
Tell me about, blame, because you mentioned blame, and you said, I think there was something you said, you're going to be giving a talk actually about blame.
I call it the blame game.
The blame game, yes.
And let's just go back when we're 2 years old, 3 years old, okay. And
I'm gonna pause. Sorry, I'm gonna pause this, sure. And then we'll go into part 2. So we have a couple of videos that I can just put online. I'm not very techie, but I'll just pause it, and we'll go into part 2. Rebecca, don't go anywhere.
Okay.